Joining us live this morning with a look at the poll, though, is David Valentin, principal at Liaison Strategies, the person who crunched these numbers. David, here we are. We're almost a year, well, I guess 10 months away now, really, almost to the day from the next municipal election. Mayor Chow still has some good momentum. Is John Tory, though, the wild card in potentially next year's municipal election?
I think he is, because we're not sure what his intentions are yet.
Yeah.
He would enter the race with a lot of name recognition, but also some baggage. He has a record. He was the mayor, of course. And we have to wonder, how many candidates can run against the mayor and, sustain themselves in a really clear way to be able to form that contrast. Running for mayor takes a lot of resources.
Exactly. It's interesting to see Brad Bradford, the only declared candidate, according to your polling, currently sitting in third place behind Chow and Tory. But we'd seen some polling from you earlier this year that showed potentially in a head-to-head race with Chow, he may come out on top if it's just him and Chow.
He'd do a little better, but even if it's him and Chow, he would still lose the election.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that the biggest barrier to Mr. Bradford's success is name recognition. And so what we've seen since July is he's been doing more events. He's declared he's actually running for mayor. That always helps, telling people what you're doing. And his ratings have gone up as a result. Now we're seeing double the amount of support for Mr. Bradford than we found in July. So he's gone from 8 to 16. Now that's pretty positive movement, but he would have to keep going at that rate for almost all of next year to be able to be competitive. So quite a ways to go just yet.
David, I realize you're a pollster and not a politician, but does it surprise you that we haven't actually heard Mayor Chow make any even vague declaration or reference to the fact that most people assume she's running next year, but she hasn't come out and said it?
I think when you look at the actions she's taking, they telegraph that she's probably going to run. I think what she wants to use as her launch is really up to her. Maybe she wants to get through the budget process first, deliver that budget, and not have it sort of tinged with electioneering, right? I think that's sort of the question she has to answer in terms of when she wants to announce. But listen, registration will open early next year, and then it's off to the races because people need time to fundraise and put their campaign teams together. Yeah,
that 39% number that you have Olivia Chow sitting at right now, what does that say about an incumbent mayor at this point that she'd be sitting at a number like that? Is that decent, like if you look at other polls historically?
If you look at other polls historically, we would normally expect the incumbent to have a larger vote share at this point. I think there's two factors that are interesting. One is that, we're testing her against the previous mayor, who comes with name recognition, fundraising. He hasn't really been quiet for the last few months. He's been on the radio. He's been around town. So this is someone who is expressing some level of interest in the race, right? But, I think if the mayor wasn't there, as we see when it's just Mr. Bradford running, if she was facing a wide field of candidates, she would probably be performing a lot better.
Well, that was sort of the thing in the last actual municipal election, right? There was sort of a center-right kind of split, and the Mayor Chow was able to kind of come up as sort of the candidate really representing the progressive left, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the 39% you're seeing in the survey now, very close to what she actually got in the last election, right? Which would sort of point you towards the fact that she's been able to grow and retain some of her supporters, but not overly so.
Interesting. Now, we're looking at these numbers, of course, here we are, in late December here. When should we expect to see, or when would candidates like to see those numbers start to move? Is it early, or do you want to be peaking closer to October of next year?
You want to have your best number on election day, right? But I think what's interesting for me is always the trend lines and always where people are sort of showing us they can move to. I think for the mayor, she just has to tread water, try to retain the support she has now, maybe grow it a little bit as well. But I think for Mr. Bradford and Mr. Tory, there's this question of who is going to be that person who's the main challenger to Olivia Chow. And for Mr. Tory, he's got Mr. Bradford, still quite a ways behind him, but he's got some momentum. He's gaining some steam.
Really quickly, Dave, before I let you go, what's your sense of the enthusiasm level of voters looking ahead to next year's municipal election? Are they dialed in yet?
No, not just yet. But we can see that high education and high-income voters are beginning to tune in, are beginning to look at the race a little more closely. That makes sense since we were, above the one-year mark now. 10 months to go.
Okay. David Valentin, appreciate this. Merry Christmas. Good to see you.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for all the polling throughout the year. Appreciate these numbers. Thank you very much.